The ancient Roman Republic. Okay, for a quick review on the geography of Rome, it was a civilization located here on the Tiber River on the peninsula of modern-day Italy. You can recognize it by its boot shape. Okay, it sticks out into the Mediterranean Sea. Greece is right over here nearby. Okay, and the rest of Asia over further to the east. North is the rest of Europe, of which Italy technically is part of. And down here to the south is Africa. Okay, if you attended the meet last week or you were able to watch our video on patricians and plebeians, you'll recall that patricians, you can almost hear the word rich in there, patricians, these are the rich people of ancient Rome, and they were your wealthy nobles, landowners, and made up a small percent of the population. The majority of the population, the citizens, were plebeians. These were your common people, your farmers, craftsmen, workers, laborers. So, and again, that was the majority of the population. So you got to keep that in mind as we go forward with the Roman Republic. This form of government was in Rome for almost 500 years. And you might ask yourself, that the Republic, that sounds familiar. Right. In the Pledge of Allegiance, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the Republic for which it stands. So when we say the pledge, we are actually saying that, we are committed to this form of government, a republic. So what is a republic? It is a system of government where leaders are elected to govern as representatives of the people. And if you notice, republic, first three letters, is the same as in representatives. So instead of like ancient Greece had a direct democracy where all the male citizens directly voted on issues of government, and I mean, you're talking upwards of thousands of citizens were coming to these meetings every week. Rome realized that wasn't really reasonable to do, so instead they would elect and vote on representatives to do that for them, which is, you might realize, what we do in our country today. Here's a painting of the Roman Senate, and again, you might recognize that word, meeting of the government officials who made the decisions. And you can see they're all dressed very similar, all elderly males for the most part. These were your patricians. They were the ones making all the laws in government. And keep in mind, that was only a small percent of the whole Roman population, patricians. So they held almost all the political power, and only they could be elected to office. So the plebeians, the majority of the common people in Rome, they called for a change in government to give them more say in how things would run. Now, the patricians didn't want to give up that power easily, but the plebeians said, hey, we fight for this country too, and in fact, we're a big part of it. We're going to not do anything for you, and then you'll see how much you need us. So the patricians agreed to make changes, and out of that came something known as the 12 Tables. These were the laws of the Roman Republic, and this would be considered a primary source as it's written in Latin, but we can still read what it said, and it would tell us a lot about that civilization. So the 12 Tables guaranteed certain rights to all citizens, rich or poor, patrician or plebeian. And they were posted in the Forum for all to see. Remember, the Forum was like the big meeting place in ancient Rome. And as you're looking at that, you might think and make a connection to Mesopotamian times with Hammurabi's Code, where it was posted for everyone to see and read. So very similar idea here. Okay, and what that did was lead to a change in the Republic government. And you still had the two classes of people, as shown here, but now they basically had something known as two councils. These are kind of like the presidents. One ran the government and the other ran the military. You had 300 senators, 10 tribunes, and then a citizens' assembly, kind of like our House of Representatives now. Now, the ideas we take away from the Roman Republic that we still use in our country today is that we elect representatives. We have a Senate, Assembly, House of Representatives. They have checks and balances on each other, so no one branch of government has too much power. The power to veto. Your councils could veto each other. Veto is a Latin word, means I forbid. And so if one decided something and the other didn't agree, he could forbid that from happening. All men are equal under the law, whether you're rich or poor. That was an important concept the plebeians fought for. And you are innocent until proven guilty. So, again, something we still use in our country today. Now, Rome started as that little city state on the Tiber River, but it expanded its territories. And you can see it went from the red area to basically the entire Italian peninsula and beyond that, starting to surround the Mediterranean, the islands in the Mediterranean, as well as even here, Carthage on the tip of Africa. Now, actually, Carthage and Rome, two city states, they are going to fight for power and control of these trade routes, these islands here in the Mediterranean. And it actually leads to a series of 3 wars known as the Punic Wars. And that's what you're going to read about next.